What's going on, y'all? What it is. So let's go ahead and slide on this topic, and you already know what the topic is, so let's go ahead and get into it. Now, before I get started, I do want to say that I have some extraordinary news. Now, I'm not one to gas it up or soup it up, but I'm just saying Cassie is doing her due diligence to make sure that she puts an end to Diddy. Now, I do want to touch on this, right? Now, first and foremost, I just want to say that I'm no groupie. I've met certain celebrities and things of that nature, never asked to take a picture. I don't do things like that. But when you have somebody that's publicly going after Diddy to DM you and say, hey, Playboy, keep doing what you're doing. If you need anything, I got you. It just lets me know that it has to be a high level of merit of truth and validity to all the information my plug has been sending me. But anyway, let's go ahead and move along. Now, I want to get into, and we're going to get into later, how Usher and Jay-Z took a stand against Diddy. But I also want to touch on this. I'm hearing some things about Farnsworth Bentley in regards to him actually coming out and breaking his silence about what happened to him during his tenure when he was working with Diddy. I'm hearing that Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy created a segue for Farnsworth Bentley to come out and tell his truth about being violated and the things that he endured when he worked for Diddy. Now, I've been told by a credible source, Farnsworth, which his real name is Derek Watkins, was broken in by Diddy against his own will. And I'm pretty sure you guys know what I mean when I say that he was broken in by Diddy. We're talking about back shots upon back shots, right? So also, I want to get into just a little bit Cassie's friend, I believe her name is Tiffany Red, coming out and corroborating Cassie's story about witnessing Diddy be very volatile towards Cassie. So what I want to do right here is play you guys a couple of clips. The first clip is going to be about Tiffany Red coming out defending her friend in Cassie, and then the second clip is going to be talking about Farnsworth Bentley a little bit, because I want you guys to brace yourself, because I know for a fact that Farnsworth is going to come out and tell his truth. So sit tight, and then I'll come back and get you guys up to speed on the information that I received this morning. All right,
y'all, the Diddy shit is getting out of hand, and we actually have somebody that was mentioned in Cassie's civil suit coming forward and telling her part. Let's get into it. So it looks like Cassie's friend Tiffany Red is opening up about what she witnessed Cassie go through with Diddy. And the reason she's coming out is to protect herself, because Cassie mentioned her in the civil suit. She didn't mention her by name, but she recalled a night, Cassie's 29th birthday, that her and Cassie were out, and Diddy and her and Cassie got into a little situation. Let's read. So you guys can pause for read, but basically Tiffany is recalling the night that her and Cassie went out for her 29th birthday. It was her and a couple of friends, and they were out to dinner with Diddy. Tiffany and Cassie and her friends wanted to go to a private karaoke bar, but Diddy wasn't having that. And he was trying to convince his goons to not let Cassie go and that Cassie stay with Diddy. But Cassie wasn't hearing that. She took her ass to the karaoke bar, and Diddy showed up soon after. Now, this is also the night that was mentioned in the civil suit about Cassie being trafficked by Diddy. So what happened was Diddy showed up to the spot and drug Cassie out. Cassie's head stayed down the whole time she walked out. Tiffany decided to follow. She had an uneasy feeling. She wanted to see what was up. When she walked out the door, Diddy had Cassie pinned in a corner with his fingers in her face, cussing her out. The bodyguards surrounded her and kept her in the corner. Cassie and Tiffany made eye contact for a little bit, and Cassie looked really uneasy, and she put her head back down. The only time I ever seen a person put their head down is an abused person, especially when they're in front of their abuser. They can't even make eye contact. They're so mentally gone. Now, Tiffany also says they went back to the house, and two of Cassie's friends was packing her bag, her big blue Birkin bag. And Cassie was saying she didn't want to go. She didn't want to go, but she has no choice. Tiffany asked the friends, why are y'all packing her bag if she doesn't want to go? And they said, she always goes. And that is so fucking sad. And Cassie left with Diddy. And the friend said, well, she'll always come back. They'll be back. Watch it. She was like, it was almost like watching a freaking movie. And that shit makes me feel so sad. The fact that her friends were so used to this situation and they did not pull her aside to help her makes me feel sad for Cassie. The fact that people knew this was going on and nobody stood in front of this man makes me feel sad for Cassie. But it also makes me understand how powerful Diddy really was. And I'm saying was because right now he's Bill Cosby times 2. And being the fact that Cassie cannot be silenced, there is no NDA, everybody can talk. So at this point, Diddy, you better get your ducks in a row, because I do see something happening to you. I don't think it's going to be civil. I think it's going to be criminal. Somebody coming after your ass, and I hope they take you for everything you got. Cling, cling included.
You know who just came to mind? Fonzworth Bentley. Fonzworth fell off the face of the planet. Jaguar Wright said that Fonzworth ran away just like Cassie did. Fonzworth Bentley's real name is Derek Watkins, and he was born in Atlanta, Georgia. He first appeared rapping on the band's 2002 album, Too Hot for TV. He was featured in an Outkast skit in 2003, The Love Below, Speaker Box The Love Below. He even once did a cameo in Kanye's video. I believe that was called The New Workout Plan. Fonzworth was credited as a songwriter on multiple Yeezus tracks, like Black Skinhead, I Am a God, Hold My Liquor. He was even credited as a producer on Kanye's Ultralight Beam. But the $1 million question is, what happened between Diddy and Fonzworth? Now, rumor has it, Fonzworth Bentley was one of Diddy's concubines. That just sounds so weird coming out of my mouth just now. Fonzworth had went to etiquette school and he attended Morehouse College. His father was also a professor at Morehouse College. His mother, Harriet Watkins, is a Spelman graduate. While attending college, he majored in biology. He was said to have been an amazing athlete as well. His sports were track and cross country. Fonzworth wanted to become an MTV VJ, but when that didn't work out, he ended up getting a job working for Ralph Lauren in guess what mall? Lenox Mall. While working at the Ralph Lauren Polo store, that's how Fonzworth Bentley met P. Diddy. They said Diddy and Fonzworth hit it off. He immediately hired him as his valet and personal assistant. So after Diddy had gotten into some legal trouble, the way that Fonzworth dressed and carried himself, they said that Diddy needed a repairing of his image. So he changed his name and rebranded himself. When you saw Fonzworth, he was always well maintained, always with the fresh cut, always dressed, from the head to toe. His presentation, his appearance was always clean. Eventually, Fonzworth became a fashion and image consultant. So how does someone doing so well for themselves just vanish? Fonzworth even came out with a book, Advance Your Swagger. He even ended up with his own show, From G's to Gents. But he just vanishes?
Bentley has won awards for his entertainment industry contributions. This includes a Guild of Music Supervisors Award for Best Song Recording for Television in 2014. And he won an MTV VMA Award for his choreography on Kanye West's Fade.
If you remember in the beginning of the video, I said that Fonzworth Bentley had a lot of musical contributions with Yeezus. Well, they're saying the way that Fonzworth Bentley got up out of Dodge, got away from Diddy, was because Kanye helped him. But around the industry, supposedly he was known as something else, and Jaguar Wright said it.
What do you think Diddy and Fonzworth Bentley's real relationship was?
Concubine. Everybody know. I think the thing that everybody is having a hard time grasping is how that whole thing could have probably went down. But the thing is it was how fast he disappeared.
So if you remember in Cassie's lawsuit, she spoke of an assistant that used to help with the FOs. So I couldn't but help to wonder if Fonzworth Bentley was that assistant. See it in red? Mr. Combs' assistant would help to set up the FOs, including by setting up the hotel suites with baby oil and Astroglide. Yo, even Gene Dale, Puff, former security bodyguard, he even threw shade at Fonzworth and was like, yeah, he ain't saying nothing about me because he know I know his business.
Fonzworth actually is down here in Atlanta. He's married with like 2 kids. He just lives a quiet life now. But
yeah, he should.
Yeah.
He should. He ain't say nothing about me either. Because he know I know his business.
You know his business.
I know his business.
All right, so you guys just seen and heard all of that. Now, first and foremost, I want to say shout out to Storm Monroe because his clips was used within that second video. So we got to shout out the creator that was able to get that interview with Gene Deal. I also want to give a shout out to Jaguar Wright. Even though that sometimes we feel like she be mentally off her rocker, she never lied about what was going on with Diddy and also some things that she implicated in regards to Jay-Z. So shout out to Jaguar Wright. Now, the first thing I want to say about the clip where Tiffany Red, Cassie's friend, is coming out talking about the situation that transpired, it just seems as though that so many people that were around Cassie failed her. And it seems as though that that's a repetitive thing that we see when it comes to people being violated by individuals. You have people that know about the situation and they're so reluctant to do anything. I believe that they probably fear for their safety and the person who is getting violated safety as well. But at the end of the day, I don't see an excuse here. Somebody should have contacted the police. Somebody should have said something back in the day, whether it was Diddy's security guards, whether it was former artists that were signed to his label. It just seems like everybody was spineless. Nobody had a backbone. And I'm telling you right now, if Diddy had did right by everybody financially, a lot of people will still be quiet. And that's including Cassie, because Cassie just wanted the money. But Diddy had so much pride, he didn't want to settle. So basically, he forced her hand and she filed that lawsuit against him. So it's just crazy to me how, you know, when things have transpired back in the day, nobody wants to talk about it then, but all of a sudden you want to expose somebody now. And it seems as though a lot of people are just ticked off with Diddy because he didn't do what he was supposed to do financially, and now you want to talk. But anyway, guys, what I want to do right here is get into this information, and this information is straight pressure. All right. So it says here, what's up, bro? I was at a party here in Vegas and it's a lot of people in town to see the in-season NBA tournament tonight. I had a chance to talk and get some insight on some more information involving Diddy and all the shenanigans. The first thing I have learned is that Jay-Z and Usher cut Diddy from Usher's Super Bowl halftime show. I'm told Jay-Z pulled the plug after Usher said he was uncomfortable with the ongoing allegations. Usher also said that what Cassie and the other victims went through is reminiscent of the past and very triggering for him. Pay attention to that, guys. I'm told that before the NFL reached out about their concerns about Diddy being involved in the upcoming halftime show, Jay-Z had already nipped it in the bud. I'm also told that Cassie is working with other victims to file lawsuits against Diddy from other states and from across the pond. It's also been expressed to me that about 9 other victims have contacted Cassie's lawyers, who are all claiming to have been AR'd and affected, I'm paraphrasing here, guys, by Diddy. One of the victims, who was an up-and-coming artist, is saying that when he contacted Diddy back in 2014 about filing a lawsuit against him for forcing him into committing acts that happened in a studio in Atlanta back in 2012, the victim says he was tracked down, intimidated, asphalted, and I'm paraphrasing, guys, and thrown into the dumpster by Diddy's goons. He went on to say that he only maintained his silence because he was afraid of retaliation that would not only affect him but his family. I have also been told that Cassie is in talks of doing an interview with Oprah and Gail King together. Cassie is also in the works of doing a documentary about Diddy. Also, Kim Porter has been said to have recorded videos of herself talking about her tumultuous relationship with Diddy, and I'm told that Cassie has those tapes. Kimora even has more videos, and that those clips will be included within the documentary series. So maybe that's why Kimora is on the run now. But I'm going to be at events all day, and tonight I will touch base later. 100. Alright, so you guys just saw and heard that. Now you all know the drill. To protect the integrity of my platform, I'm going to say that all the information that I just conveyed to you is all alleged, even though I know that I'm getting my information from a trusted individual. Alright, but I will say that when I first read this email, one of the things that stood out is what Usher had to say, basically, right? So Usher said that the things that happened to Cassie and the other victims were reminiscent to him and also triggering. What is he trying to say there? You know what I'm saying? And then you have the guy who was an up-and-coming artist that said that Diddy forced him to do some things that, you know, he didn't want to do, as far as like being intimate with him. And so when he came back a couple of years later and basically said, hey man, I'm trying to hold you accountable, basically just drop me off some dollars and we can just leave it here. Basically he was intimidated and ultimately thrown in the garbage can by Diddy's goons. That is highly offensive. Now make no mistake about it, I'm not saying that it's more offensive than what took place in that studio according to this guy, but what I am saying is, you talk about adding insult to injury, come on man. to the 10th power. Now, last but not least, Diddy is done. You know, once Cassie sits down with Gail King and Oprah together and she starts to tell her story, and then on top of that, she's working on a documentary talking about what transpired during the time she was with Diddy, he is finished. I see prison ahead. Drop down in the comments and let me know if you feel the same way. But anyway, I'm gonna let this go right here. I want you guys to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything that I talked about within this video, the information that you guys just received. Let me know your true thoughts and feelings. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.